This is
This Week in Comics. This
comics, yeah, as sung by D. Piercy. Yeah, comics in week the this. Hi, Steve.
Yeah.
What's up, Sam the King? Oh, cool, exciting. I don't know what the Canadian version of OSHA is, but enjoy. Always wear your helmet. There you go. That's good. That's good life advice, sex advice.
Yeah, always bring your rain jacket too.
Yep. And yeah.
Yeah.
What's up? How's it going?
I'm all right. How are you doing?
Doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. Sup, Flash Ray?
Hello,
What is
Flash
up?
Ray.
Yeah, no. So it's a new comic book day, and new comic books came out today.
Wait, today?
Yeah, today.
Oh.
I
I
know.
thought they came out on Tuesdays.
Some of them do.
Oh. Not for us, though.
That's a thing.
I know it is. Hey, nice seeing you too, Steve.
Oh yeah,
Cheers.
CSA is their OSHA. I knew that because, yep, you know that's hilarious because of Boots. Pops up as I'm saying. Yep, I did know that.
Wait, the CSA is their OSHA? Why does our
Canadian Safety Advisors or something like that. They have different safety requirements for their boots. So there's CSA boots, and then there's like it doesn't matter.
Whose boots are nicer?
CSA is definitely a better safety standard.
Good for them.
Yep. Oh, I haven't touched anything from today yet. Ah, right back at your. Well, your face isn't there. Right back at your S. Yeah. So let's dive into This Week in Comics.
Yeah.
Let's just do it. Yeah. What up? You want to do the honors?
Sure. I don't have the cover of this one because I read it digitally, but I read a book. It's called Second Chance. It was the second issue. I would like the first one. I gave this issue a second chance, and I'm probably not going to read the third one.
Good to know.
I still haven't read like issue 7, so I'm very far behind. But I did see the post of that, and it was funny. I know Nick made a mention that you would be happy about it.
Yeah, right. It was funny. I enjoyed the issue. Scumbag issues, I feel like, are like a coin flip for me. Hey, what's up, Tyler? Hey.
I heard somebody say like a blurb, and apparently he's like went back in time to meet himself, and I like heard that. Now it's like, this sounds like it's either going to be really funny or really not funny.
Yeah, it's a lot. I liked this issue a lot. He's doing his John Cena impression, so we just can't see him, but you just trust that he's there. John Cena. It's Super Slam.
I wonder if we're gonna get. Wouldn't that be funny if that's what we got striked for? Me just going.
Be perfect. So yeah, no third chance for second chances.
No, I mean I kind of liked it, and I think it's been so long that I didn't really get wrapped into it. I mean, it's in black and white, which necessarily isn't bad, but I don't know if that just didn't pull me in as much. I feel like there was red in it in the first issue, and there wasn't in this issue. But the one thing that was kind of weird about it is the ads in the back of the book for Image books were also black and white. So they had like the Candyman trade in black and white. They had like the new Rodney Barnes book. They showed that in black and white. The Time Before Time, that was also in black and white. And
that's cool.
Like,
that's what Source Point does with their black and white books. They just
because it's probably more expensive
cheaper
to do the
Gotta be
printing.
cheaper. And if you're already in black and white, just like fucking run with it.
I just thought it seemed like weird. But so it's digital. So I thought it seemed weird digitally because you think that you could just send it to the printer and tell them to do it in black and white. But the digital version, it wouldn't be, because you probably had to turn that original graphic in. Like that cover is originally in color.
Uh-huh.
That cover is a cover in a cover. with a cover.
Color cover. Oh boy. Yeah.
Do, 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 do.
He
I
does.
probably will not do that. My wife would be so upset if I shaved my head.
Speaking of second chances, and one book that has never needed one because it's glorious and I adore it, Nightwing number 84. Oh man, it's
Is
a
that the one
tie-in.
where it's all one panel?
It's if only.
They're doing that's coming up soon, I think.
Yeah. No, this is a Fear State tie-in. It's one of 3. It says Fear State tie-ins, so that should be interesting.
3 Nightwing Fear State tie-ins.
Yep.
That's kind of a bummer.
So we're in for 3. He's left Bloodhaven, and he's in Gotham now, which makes sense because he's in Gotham in like all the Batman books, and he's there in his book now too. But I just love this. I'm not like super into this Fear State thing just because I'm like, oh man, another fucking Batman event.
Yeah, that's pretty like substandard.
Yeah, but fuck, Tom Taylor, he can make me really into it. It's great.
That's really good. I still have to read that issue.
This book is just amazing. Like even when he's stuck doing a tie-in, when you know he's like told like, hey, you got to do 3 issues of Fear State. It's really good, and he did a good job with it. It's really tight. And there is a Clown Hunter backup story in it, which is very good.
That's good to hear. Most of the backup stories have not been good.
Well, Clown Hunter ones are always good. All of the backup Clown Hunter stories have always been good.
Yeah.
And this just runs good.
Is that part of the one that was in Detective Comics, or is this a different one?
I think this is a different one, if I'm remembering correctly.
I'm pretty sure Detective Comics also went into a Clown Hunter story.
Yes.
And that's one of 3.
This is...
I think it was Detective. It was one of those.
You can get Justice League on a 4K.
Oh, yeah. I know that...
Oh, this isn't the one that had the Clown Hunter backup? I'm dumb.
That's probably Batman.
Isn't Batman? Yeah. Which, spoiler alert, I liked the backup story in Batman then.
Nightwing.
So yeah, Nightwing.
I've not read that because I got that today, and I didn't read as many books as I thought I would today. One book I read today was, and hey, maybe I can go over here. Maybe I can just figure it out.
Probably. It's pretty easy. It's just alphabetical.
It's not in here. Oh, it is in here. Frontiersman number 1.
I read that too.
This is a book that I gave one singular chance to, and I'm probably not going to read the next issue.
Oh, no.
I thought it was fine. It's like really meta to be meta, and I didn't really want to do that, I guess. I don't know. It's fine. I could see why somebody would like this, I guess, maybe, but it's not for me.
I liked it.
It seemed cool. Like when I was like, man, if there was a lot more action in this, I'd probably like it, because every time there was like an action panel, it was pretty sweet. But there were like 2 of them.
Oh man, I dug it. I think the story's interesting, and I like that. I mean, definitely has a message, which is fine. Everything has a message. It doesn't feel overly preachy, because it's also like it's straddling a fence between like 2 ideologies, and I find it interesting. It's very it is very meta, and it's also just very of the now, like struggles people deal with in terms of being in like action or like just going off to the sides when it comes to like big world issues and stuff like that. So I find it interesting. I liked it. It's not like super high on my list, but I liked it.
Yeah, I like the art. I thought the art was pretty good. It's just like one of those books where I read it and I was like, I don't need to read the next issue. But maybe if like it turns out that it's awesome and you like are like ranting and raving, because it's 6 issues, I think. I think it's just one singular trade. So if you rant and rave and love it, then maybe I'll check out the trade.
Yeah.
But that's from Image Comics.
It is from Image Comics. It's that one. The other people don't really need too much of a shout out, but
Nick also said it was mine.
Patrick Kindlin and Marco Ferrari.
Like the car.
Letters by Jim Campbell.
Jimmy C.
Jimmy C. Yeah, no, I dug it. Trade trade weight. The old, it's our catchphrase. Trade weight it. Another Image book that I read. That's not it. Oh, there we go. It's Radiant Black.
Radiant Black.
Number 8. Written by Mr. Higgins and Marcello Costa with Natalia Marquez and Becca Carey. It is a follow-up to number 7, which okay. So I get it. I'm like following the story and I can understand what's going on. The only issue I have with this book is the action is kind of hard to follow.
Oh man, I love it.
No, it's really pretty and everything, but in terms of like what is actually happening, there was a few panels where I was like, what happened there? Am I missing something? Like I legit thought that now this is podcasting. Jeez. There was just a couple panels where I was kind of lost and it didn't really translate very well for me. Whereas the story isn't complicated. Like I'm following that just fine.
I wonder what is it because of is it some of the I mean this isn't really a spoiler, but the bad guy is kind of like this like blurry thing. Like is it because of that was weird with it, or was it like you saw a punch and it didn't look like it should be a punch or something like that?
You know, it was like a big punch thing happened and I'm like, what? And I don't know. It just felt I don't know.
I think I know what you're talking about. I'm definitely looking at it, but it's a pretty sweet spot and I don't think it's worth showing.
Okay, do you know what there's literally a whole like big page where something happens.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about it's something that if you watch Critical Role, it gets its own thing.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, yeah.
And I'm like,
yeah, I know. I mean,
and then I'm like, what happened there? Why? It seemed like a big moment, and they gave it a big page, but then I'm like, but what happened? What am I looking at? So yeah, there was just a couple
figuring out their powers. I think that's what it's.
No, I get that, but
like to tell that even they kind of even say they don't know what's going on.
Yeah. So, but no, it's still continuity and storytelling is hard. But yeah, no, the story's good and the art's excellent. I've keep being a fan of this book and I'll continue. I thought at one point I was going to stop and trade weight it, but I'm happy that I'm still grabbing the singles.
Yeah, I think I was the most uninterested in this book for the longest time. Sure, but after like issue 4, I've been pretty like hard into it.
Yeah. Because you were on the verge of dropping at one point.
Yeah, well, the first issue I was like, I hated this issue, but I kind of see what's going on. And the second issue, I was like, it's getting better, but like that next one and that next one was like, yeah, I'm here. This is pod racing.
How do you want to do this? Not very well.
With my fingers. That was a weird one. Sorry. I'm just going to randomly click on this one. Eat the Rich number 2. That's a book that came out from Boom. You actually weren't. Have you read Eat the Rich 1?
I was just about to say I missed the week that it came out and I didn't read because I wasn't feeling good. And I haven't caught up with it. So I didn't read this.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. This is I didn't like
a book I would like a lot.
I thought issue 1 was like I thought I was going to really like this book. And I don't not like this book, but it's kind of one of those books where like the second issue definitely kind of moved, but I think this is only like 4 or 5 issues.
Sure.
And like you're kind of like what was the point of this?
Interesting.
Like the first issue has this end where you're just kind of like, all this first issue did was make me literally hate every single character, except for the guy named Bumper, who you're probably supposed to hate. But I was like, he's just a drunk idiot. Let him be a drunk idiot. Its name is Bumper too, or Bump. I think it's just Bump.
I'm gonna go with Bumper.
No, it's Bump.
I've not read it, but I'm gonna say Bumper.
Yeah. And I don't know. The second one was better overall, but like the issue ended and I was like, that's not how I would end an issue ever.
Sure. All right. That's
But I also
interesting.
don't write
'cause
comics,
I've
so
been,
I'm
I've
just a
been
guy
thinking
sitting
at
here
this
with.
point that I was just going to trade weight it.
Yeah, it's probably worth it.
But also I might just catch up
Yeah,
if it's not like super.
do one of those two things. It's
I
from
think
Boom.
if Tyler's still here, I think Tyler said he liked it. I think I
Oh.
saw.
He just said bunny mask, I think.
No, sorry, on Twitter
Unless-
or something.
oh.
He said I think for my like 10 seconds that I was on Twitter, it was at the top of my feed, so I saw it.
The good old 10-second Twitter feed.
It's that I got a notification and then I saw the top of my Twitter feed and then I left Twitter immediately. That's
Thanks, Twitter. Yeah,
That's how I social media.
that's usually how I Twitter too.
Yep. And he's gone. Sorry.
Yeah, he was mad at you.
Yeah. He's like, that Kane Paul.
Literally, it's just because Scott Snyder is talking to him on a video.
Yeah, it's true.
chat.
Basically, the only thing that can keep his attention for more than 20 minutes. There's another big book that came out today.
Like, are we talking size-wise?
The last one? Yeah, it was. Damn you. And it's so big that it doesn't fit in a standard bag.
Yeah.
Or bag and board.
Like, this is...
Yeah, that's just silly. Come on, what the fuck?
At least like make your own bags and ship it with it. I mean, you've had enough time between each issue to create a specialty bag,
right? You had to make a specialty print. So yeah, this is Eastman, Laird, Waltz, Escorza, Bishop, and Delgado. It's number 4 of The Last Ronin. It's a climactic issue. It was really cool. I really enjoy this style of storytelling that this book does in general, and then I really liked how they did it for this issue. I like battle scenes that are chaotic, but you can still follow what's going on, and I really like the flashback series that we got in it. The double flashback that we got, because we get a double flashback in this issue. But yeah,
which is weird because it's the only one
really
too
like
where
it.
the flashbacks aren't in the original art style.
Yes. Well, it's because it's a flashback in a flashback.
Yeah, I like into like I don't know. I like this book, but like at this point with the way that it's paced, I almost just wish I would have trade weighted it.
Oh no,
like,
that's the way to have done it.
I'm kind of just like, what the hell? Like, I don't even remember what happened at the last issue. And now I'm reading this, and it's like, I probably should have reread them, but like, I don't really think there's a ton of substance that I would, if I reread them, I would have been like, that was a lot of time rereading some books. I mean, there is, but there is.
I don't know if that's quite worth it, but I enjoyed the issue.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't hate that I read it, but it wasn't like one of my favorite things that I read.
Yeah, Prestige at least can fit in silver
magazine style.
Magazine, that's it. Magazine. This doesn't even fit in a magazine because it's too narrow.
Yeah.
So this slides back and forth.
Well, it's narrow and Tyler, because I think this is actually a magazine style bag and board, right?
I thought
it's either magazine or gold.
No, this isn't magazine because our comic shop told me today they don't put them in magazines because they shift left and right when they do it because it's not wide enough. And then it's also too tall for magazine. So it's too tall and slides around. It's dumb. And then we literally talked for like 3 minutes about how stupid its sizing is at the shop today.
Yeah, that's kind of where I am, I guess, too.
Yeah. I mean,
there's fighting.
Yeah, no, there's fighting and a flashback, and you get a good amount of things. I like it.
Talking. And also too, like this is just a weird gripe, but like a non-bandanaed turtle. Hey, welcome.
Interesting. That's interesting.
Oh, so he likes the like prestige, the DC prestige. Not
yes, he likes DC's prestige because Prestige Plus to DC is everyone else's prestige.
Yeah. But
their prestige is just weird. It's different. That's interesting. I mean, I like that size too, but Prestige Plus is everything to me. That's like my favorite format across the board. I adore that size.
I like just standard, I think, size. It's easy to read.
Cool.
Sometimes the Prestige, I just hate the Prestige Plus sometimes because when you open certain pages, they
You
don't
get the
like,
big.
yeah.
You get that big, like, oh, it's the centerfold. You're getting a full splash, but you're like losing like 3 inches of the center because of it. That's why the hardcover versions of the Prestige is the best.
Yeah. And speaking of centerfolds, Sweet Paprika #3 came out, and I read that issue. I don't know why I'm still reading this book. It's not bad, but it's not like a book that I should probably be reading as a adult male, I think. But there's so many people that read this book, and the boobs are so weird in this book. Donnie with a cool flat hat.
Mikey.
Mikey with no bandana.
Yep.
God, the no bandana really just, I don't know. It's weird. It's like looking at a thumb, kind of.
It's like looking at a thumb with eyes. Yeah, Sweet Paprika. That's weirdly enough, I did not read this one. Mostly because I didn't read 1 or 2. So it would be weird to jump on now at 3.
I don't know. It might not be.
That's true. Maybe I'll read it and give my opinion on number 3 without any prior knowledge.
The ending panel was pretty funny, though.
Okay. Cool. I'll check it out. So that's a big recommendation on Sweet Paprika.
Just look at the last panel and then be like, what the hell? But also, I'm not body shaming them. I'm just saying that, like, a turtle, like, I'm used to seeing the Ninja Turtles with a bandana, and without the bandana, it just seems weird to me.
Without the bandana.
Bandana.
Okay, last panel.
Well, here, while you're doing that, I'll talk about another book. Did you read Impossible Jones?
What the fuck is? What is this?
Exactly.
What am I looking at? There's a lot going on here.
It's loosely an orgy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what you're looking at.
Okay.
But that's a character that is important.
Thanks, buddy. That was worth it. Ooh, Impossible Jones. I read that today. That's the #1 from Scout.
Yeah.
I like this book.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what it is.
It's so campy. I love it. Yeah. It's super intentionally campy, and I think that's great.
It kind of reminds me of remember when what is that guy's name? The guy that was in Flash that's not Plastic Man.
The guy who's in Flash that's
Elongated
not Plastic Man? Oh, gotcha.
It's kind of like how I think that was supposed to be as a character where you're this, like, 'cause I think he started off bad and then became good. And this is like, where is she bad? Is she good? Who knows?
I think the idea is she's a little bit of both.
A little bit of both.
And I like it. It's like it's a Mr. Fantastic meets like Black Catwoman. She's got superpowers, but she's also kind of like thievery, which is literally on the cover, like superhero who is mostly good, and she's like a thief who gets superpowers, and then she's like fighting crime, but also like yoinky at the same time, which is cool. I like it. It's super campy. It's dumb because it's just like there's a lot of parts in it, but it's pretty simple, and it's just kind of, I think it's just supposed to be fun, and I had fun with it. I like the art style.
Yeah, I definitely like the art style.
The art style is really cool. It's very classic. It's a very classic comic book like look to it, but it's really clean and it's really well done. I didn't read nearly as much this week as I normally do, but one book also that just keeps on. I really like this a lot. Moon Knight #3.
Hell yeah.
I misspoke at one point on some social media platform where I did my 1-second check-in and I said something and then I left forever again. I pulled Moon Knight and Amazing Spider-Man. Those are my Marvel pulls, not just Amazing Spider-Man. I have 2 Marvel pulls. This is one of them. And first of all, look at that. So cool.
It's a sweet cover. And the art in this book is amazing.
Art is fantastic. And I really like the story. It's really cool. Like, it's solid. Like, it's not. And it's not
Ted McKay writes it.
Yeah.
And I think he does Black Cat, which a lot of people really like.
Rosenberg. It's not like as good as Nightwing, in my opinion, in terms of like my favorite big 2 books, but Moon Knight would be on my very short list if I had to start dropping shit. I really like it. It's a good time. And this one just keeps getting. I feel like we're getting close to getting more like the history of Moon Knight and his god and all of that, which is cool. It'll be fun. It'll be interesting to see where they go with it in this rendition.
Yeah, I've been really enjoying this. I love Moon Knight. He's probably one of my favorite like Marvel heroes. I started reading like when I started getting back into comics, Jeff Lemire was doing it. So I was like, well, let's just get into this. And I love that this one's kind of also dealing with like a Moon Knight that sort of has powers. And I think that has something to do with what happened in Avengers. And I know that Sam King tells me that I need to read that a lot, and I don't. But I read one issue and then I had to return it to the library. But I'll get it again and I'll read it.
Right.
But yeah, and he kind of deals with like what that is, because he's this, the Fist of Kenosha. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but I love Moon Knight, and I think you should all read me Kenosha. Yeah,
I don't know if that's right.
Sure, I don't know.
Khonshu?
That's what it is. It's Khonshu.
I think it's Khonshu. Okay, I was like, I will reference the book. Khonshu. Age of. Oh, look at that Khonshu right there. Thanks, Steve.
Speaking of books that ended today.
Oh, another 10 in the books.
Final issue. And this is something that's really at the top right.
You're breaking up.
Oh.
It still is just baby teeth over your face right now. It's pretty great.
Okay.
Oh, Mr. Pixelated. We'll get through this together. We'll get there.
Yeah, cool. I'm proud of you.
Still a little digitally. It's Coal Watch 2021. Uh-oh. I probably should talk about a different comic and then let you come back to Baby Teeth.
That's fine.
But I also am just kind of curious about how long this will take. And I think it's captivating. 2D Coal. Yes. What's up? What's up, Ricky? Robot Randy. Oh, okay.
I think I'm good.
Oh. Ooh, are you? You don't look good.
No. I had a period of time where.
Oh no. What's up, everybody? Oh, okay.
How about now?
That seems good.
This is also in one of those bags.
Nice. Little extra.
We noticed our bags. There's new where there's like an extra thing. This is the final issue, but it's weird here. You see Donny Cates, you see Gary Brown, and then you see these other two people here. And Mark Englert is also the writer, and it seems weird. And Tyler Esposito does letters, but it seems weird that his name is like down here when he's writer number 2. I don't know. I just noticed that because I was looking at the final page and that happened, and it seems weird that he's down there, but he's writer number 2. And that's just a random pet peeve that I have with this issue. But this is the final issue. I read 2 issues before this morning to catch up to read this. Yeah, it ended pretty good. I mean, I don't know. It seemed kind of rushed, but I don't know. It's kind of weird because like Baby T 17 came out and you were like, oh, I forgot that was even a book.
Yeah.
Because it took like 2 years with COVID in between.
It was a long time. I haven't read The Return. I'm trade waiting it. So
yeah, I'll probably end up like going back and rereading it at some time, which I think would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm excited. Oh, yeah, I'm definitely, once I get the collected ones, I'm going to start back with Baby Teeth and then run through them. And I'm very excited.
It like the ending was one of those where at first I didn't really like it. And then as I saw what it did, I was like, okay, I like this.
Nice. That's good. Good to know. That makes me happy because I've been hearing really good things about it. Speaking of things that's not ending, this is not the final issue. Vinyl number 4 from Image Comics, friend of the show, Doug Wagner, Hilliard, Stewart, and Dukeshire.
Ed.
It's a yeah, mine too. A little extra. Yeah, no, I really love this book.
Yeah,
I think
really
it's
good.
super cool. It's really interesting. Doug definitely has a vision for this book, and I really appreciate what the story that he's decided to tell. It's super fucked up.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
But it's super entertaining. It's really good. I hope they make adult teeth. My daughter lost her 4th baby tooth today.
Oh, it's
Which
so
I
weird
should've-
when kids get their adult teeth.
Oh yeah,
So
she's
they
got
have a
2
little
big
head.
ones going, and she's got a couple small ones, and she's got her face is her mouth. Her face is adorable. Her mouth is a mangled mess.
And I'm pretty sure I heard Doug say that this takes place in the plastic universe.
Did he say that?
I'm pretty
Cool.
sure. And
I
like
mean, it makes
it's cool
sense.
because there's so many more serial killers in here where it's saying that
So
this
many.
plastic universe is very fucked up.
Yep. This is not a great place to live. There's some shit going on here. It's bloody. It's awful. I really like the art style. The story is super interesting with the connection of the different serial killers all together and what they're facing. I really enjoy it. It's definitely a unique take on what could have been very tropey, and it is to some degree. Like he's definitely leaning into a couple cliches, but he's doing it intentionally. I think it's really cool.
Yeah. And it's, I mean, like for like a serial killer crime book, there's also a lot of comedy in it, which is pretty awesome.
Yep. Yeah, it can be very lighthearted one page and then get real fucking dark the next.
And this
really
issue
quickly.
too was pretty like emotional.
This was
For,
an
like a
intense-
book about like
intense book.
and there's still one dude that's still a dickhead throughout all of it.
Yep. Can't stop, won't stop. But yeah, vinyl, it's awesome. I'm debating about I might get a collected version of this so that I can read it more easily because it's a really quick read, and I could see wanting to read it, especially like put it in my Halloween lineup for like my horror books in October to read.
And maybe to like read like, you know, plastic and this when it's like,
yes.
hey, you know what? I just read Nail Biters and I want to get a little bit more of that, but I also want to laugh a little bit.
Yeah, I want it to feel better. Yes, it is like Nail Biters meets like comedy, which is cool.
And which is funny because Kane Paul was here, and I think he made a tweet for like when I was on Twitter the other day, because it was because I had tweeted about the Burrito Boost I did with Brian Hawkins, and he talked about it originally being a screenplay, and he was saying that some things transition, like most things work better in comics except comedy. Because comedy for me, comedy
is harder to land.
Is right, and this is like one of those books where I think that it actually gets comedy well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it definitely does comedy well. It's never to the point I find in comics. It is rare where I laugh out loud. I will think something is funny, but then just keep moving. I might do a like a chortle, but I rarely laugh out loud. Vinyl doesn't make me laugh out loud, but it definitely makes me like chortle and like makes me think like, oh, that's funny, and moves. And that is tough to do. It's really tough to land. Yeah. That's interesting. That's a cool observation.
Well, because I've read like books where people are like, these are comedic books, and I'm like, I don't think that I understand how comedy.
Yeah, it just falls flat. Yeah, interesting. I'm gonna keep it like an eye out now for that, for when I'm actually like entertained with comedy in a book. Like Man Eaters makes me laugh.
Yeah,
that's a book that legit makes me laugh.
I think Dead Dog Bites too. That had some.
Sure.
They're like jean shorts that turtles wear.
Yeah. I wear jean turtle necks.
Me too.
It's a jordal. Chortle. Yeah, chortle makes you chortle. Is that not a common word?
I've never heard it until you just said that.
You've never heard chortle before? Oh shit. Okay.
I thought we were doing chores.
It makes me guffaw sometimes.
Yeah, guffaw. I've heard guffaws before.
But yeah, chortle's just like like that. That's a chortle. When it's just like in your nose, when you laugh in your nose with your mouth closed.
Speaking of something that didn't make me laugh in my mouth with my nose closed.
It didn't make me laugh in my mouth.
Bunny Mask number 4.
Yeah, that won't do it, probably.
It's written by Paul Torben, art by Andrea Muti, and Taylor Esposito does letters. It is an Aftershock book. This is the final issue of Bunny Mask. Bunny Mask kind of did something that Maniac from New York did. where it kind of ends, but it's also like, hey,
Oh, they got you.
volume 2 is coming in 2022. And it's just kind of like,
Did this issue do anything then? Did it end like Maniac of New York too, where it didn't
no.
need that last
This had a
issue?
solid ending. Like, I
Okay.
mean, ish. I don't know. This issue was kind of
Ooh.
wonky and weird to me, but like,
Ooh, interesting.
I mean, it was good.
I'm
Like,
not
I mean,
reading this.
but the ending just kind of got weird. There was like, I don't like the book's good, and I think too maybe like, you know, it's 4 issues. I'll probably go back and read this one.
I'm gonna get the trade.
But like I don't know. Yeah, it kind of ends, and I don't like that, you know, where it's just like, yeah. I mean, this ending is far superior to that,
It's just
but
what they did.
it definitely does this.
transition thing.
Yeah, and it kind of leads at this point, like, you know, this book could have kind of maybe been done here, but if the book just ended, I probably would have liked the ending more. But the fact that it's like to be continued in 2022, it makes me
Sure.
like kind of think that the ending was like, all right, this is fine. Well, if you haven't read it, you might enjoy this issue.
I just didn't get locked in with number 1. It just didn't do it for me, but I've heard enough like back and forth on it that I'll probably read the trade.
It's good, and I think it's worth reading. I mean, it's a 4-issue book, so like that's the only thing where when that trade comes out, you might look at it and it's like, is it worth paying $16.99 for a trade of 4 issues? Maybe not. Maybe it is. I mean, you could probably go back. Oh, they're all 5.
I can sell my number 1 bunny mask and put it towards it.
Yeah. It doesn't say on the cover how much this issue costs, so I don't even know.
It's Aftershock?
Yeah.
$4.99.
Well, some are $3.99 because I think Maniac in New York was $3.99.
I don't think so.
This is $4.99. So you were right, but I swear there's one of them that is $4.99. I mean $3.99.
One of them is $4.99, as is
they all are.
all of them.
You know what? In this economy, how can you even afford a $4.99 comic book?
Speaking of $4.99 comic books, yep, nailed it.
Boom, baby teeth, $3.99.
Whatever. Batman, $4.99.
I heard that this is a really good
Batman number
backup
113. Story. You know what? I did like the backup story. Did you know it's a ghost or a ghost hunter? Fuck. It's a clown hunter backup story. And it's really good. I enjoyed it. The main story was better than some other Batmans have been.
Like in the last few issues?
In the last 50 or so issues, this is better than some of them. It's just I don't know. I like it. It's well done. It's pretty. I think the story is interesting. I think this is a really good spot for it right now in terms of like where it's at in the story. I just hope that they can get some real traction and give me something interesting, more in depth. The last time I felt invested in like I was getting into it, fucking Joker War happened and it just fell apart on me and I wasn't as into it. But I liked this. I do not like Ghostface Killer.
Ghost Hunter.
That's the guy. I love Ghostface Killer.
Yeah. He good. He make music well.
He does, and comics well. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, every time he comes into it, it slows down the story for me a fair amount.
He's such a like Me Too, a Mr. Me Too.
What?
Like there's that issue where he's with Harley and he's like,
oh
yeah, you see this car? This is like Batman's car, but I spent more money on this car.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, he's always
Batman beats me on this, but everything else of mine is better.
Yeah, it's good. It's good for a Batman book, and I'm okay with it. Yeah, like it's not the worst Batman because I think Joker War was worse than this, and I like the backup story in it, which helps.
Yeah.
But I really need something more out of it, and I hope that's what they're doing with this. If it goes downhill from here, if this is the peak, we got issues.
Well, I mean, I could know at least, in what, like 2 more issues, Joshua Williamson is taking over, 3 more issues.
Yep.
And who
Is
knows?
it
We'll see where
3?
that goes. Yeah, I
'Cause
thought it
it's
was 116.
it's 116, right? Yeah. So we
Yeah,
got
so it'd
3
be
more
3. Yeah,
issues. But Tynan knows how to write.
he does. I've heard too. Somebody
As
said
does
that there's like an
Williamson.
interview of him where they kind of like just pushed him into this cookie cutter format. Apparently, like he also did this thing with the designer that he had this like great scheme, and like, but I probably would have still been upset with his like pick what he wanted to do with the designer, but it's still better than what happened with the designer. His designer was. Do you want to
I
know?
hated that. I hated that so
Well,
much.
do you want to know what his thought was the designer was supposed to be?
Ugh. I don't know if I want, because it's already so bad. If there was a better option, it almost makes it's like salt in the
Well,
wound.
I don't know if it's going to be better for you.
All right,
It's slightly better for me. Batman was the designer. So he was like putting all these people together to like do this thing.
He was, yeah, and then he was gonna get them.
Get him. I'm Batman. Yeah.
That's better than what we got. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. But
what we got was literally the lamest option.
Oh yeah.
That they could,
especially when the designer seems so compelling, and it seems like it's funny now that I like heard that you look at the way the designer was written, and it makes more sense because he kind of seemed like Bruce Wayne, right?
It could have
Like,
been that.
think about
like
it,
him
you know.
with like, I mean, I prefer, if Batman's gonna be a villain, I prefer Matchstick, but designer's cool too.
Designer.
Anyway, so yeah, Batman 113. It was a comic book. It wasn't the worst comic book out there, but it also wasn't great.
Speaking of great,
if I haven't sold 400 issues of it, I probably wouldn't get it.
Stillwater 10, Chip Zdarsky, Ramon K. Perez, Mike Spicer. Yeah, I know you got the trade. I figured you hadn't read this, so it's worth probably ringing up.
I read number 1. I've read number 1, and then I trade weighted.
Yeah.
And I just got this.
Yeah, I saw that because you posted that in the Discord.
So I'm excited.
And holy shit, these are fun. I've been liking the second arc. The second arc focuses on a different group of people. It deals a lot with like the kids within the town, which is definitely a very cool concept if you think about a town that can never die and you're a child in the town.
Kids,
I mean, I don't know, picture it's the same take of like when you look at like Black Hammer, like Golden Gale when she's stuck at the farm,
or Philadelphia with the kid vampires. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. Hot takes. Hey, Aaron, how's it going? Yeah,
but I really like Stillwater. I think it's been pretty solid. This is kind of like there's a big ending at the end of this book, and like you kind of don't. I don't know. Maybe I'm just dumb and I don't pick up on like subtle hints. Like you kind of know that it's coming, but you don't know that like what's happening is coming from the person that is happening, even though it's kind of brought up that the person is doing what they're about to do.
Interesting. Okay.
But
I'm excited.
If you read that first, I think like the first volume seemed a little bit slower to me. The second volume kind of kicks up. Did you read any of the Skybound X?
I didn't read the Stillwater Skybound X stuff because I heard it was amazing though. Because there's a new character that's introduced in
and he's kind of within the second arc, and he's kind of like one of the main characters of that. Yeah, it's pretty much one of the kids in there, and that's why I didn't know, because I mean I still read the stories. I didn't actually read the books from, because I was like, well, it's only a one shot.
Yeah, no, I read some of them that I hadn't read before because it wasn't stuff that I was looking forward to. I was looking forward to Stillwater, so I avoided it.
yeah, and I mean, this is good. You'll like it.
But yeah, so I'll be curious to see what my thoughts are reading the first arc all condensed, because I've heard this.
I don't disagree with that on the first arc. The second arc kind of kicks it up a notch, and I don't know, it's weird because he's building this world, and like it took a while to get the world building, and I think I bought into the author that I knew that something would come. And sometimes you have that where you're reading Batman 113 and sometimes you get it where you're at Stillwater 10 and you enjoy it. So
a book that finished up today from Behemoth, Junkie Cable number 4. It is number 4 of 4. It's a follow-up of number 3. This is a really fucking hard book to describe or really talk about in any way. It's super weird. It's 2 junkies that go to save the world because their adopted daughter is running it. Yeah.
Is the art similar to the cover art?
It's very similar. Non-spoilery. Yeah, that's kind of sure. Yeah, that's like that.
Oh, I like that art.
Yeah, no, it reminds me. It's a lot like I can't remember it, but yeah, you just saw it, so I don't need to tell you what it looks like. No, it's an interesting book. It is really weird and a little bit hard to follow, and it's like very intentionally obtuse. But some of the jokes are really like flat on purpose, which makes me chortle. And
2021, the year of the chortle. Watch out.
Yep.
Hide your kids.
There's like a running gag throughout the whole thing about like weird passwords, which sounds unfunny, but I've enjoyed it throughout. And I don't know, it's interesting. It's got its moments where it's like, oh, you're just like wanting to show boob or wanting to show a little bit of ass. Okay, that's fine. It's really obvious what you're doing here.
Yeah.
But it's from Behemoth. Claudio Avella does the whole thing. It's their joint, and it's entertaining. If you like really weird shit that's a little confusing, Chortle Burrito is the evolution of it's the third evolution to the standard comic burrito. But yeah, no, Junkie Cable number 4. Get it in a trade if you like weird shit. Yeah.
I got this book today. It didn't come out today. It came out 2 weeks ago.
Okay. Like I didn't make
it was damaged. I just showed it because I had it and I grabbed it and but I did read this book. This is Chew. It is issue 8 and it is in the I think it's called She Drunk History or She Drunk Her. I don't know. It's a good issue. I like Chew. I know a lot of people didn't like Chew with an EW because of like chewing sounds. This one does not have it as much. It deals with saffron. And her thing is that if she eats with somebody and they eat the same meal at the same time, she gets their powers. So like one person she smokes cigarettes with every day at a certain time every day. So she learned how to speak perfect French. And yeah, this issue kind of like they're doing some time traveling, which is pretty fun. I love the art style of this book. Oh, and it is John Layman, and the artist is does not say on the cover. Dan Boltwood.
Boltwood?
Boltwood.
Boltwood? Dan Boltwood? It's a good last name. It's like porn ready. Dan Boltwood.
She Drunk History. That is the arc name. You guys are still Charmanders. Is that good or bad?
I mean, that's fine with me. Charmander was my starter Pokemon every time.
Yeah, I mean, I was more of a Squirtle guy, but, you know, whatever. They're both cool.
Let's
One's a turtle that shoots water.
What's up? Hi. Also, no need to apologize. It's just good to see you around.
Yeah. Welcome back. You know, you're
gotta keep on hustling. I haven't been reading as many comics because I keep fucking making stickers.
And now this is podcasting t-shirts.
And t-shirts, yes.
Oh, I didn't even put the banner down there. Or unless you undid it.
I don't think I undid it.
Yeah, that's fine. Oh, we didn't make one. That's fine.
For which? What did you just show?
I don't. Oh, Chew.
Yeah, we didn't.
I'll just click this one. I also wrote.
You didn't put it on your list.
Yeah, I definitely didn't. I added it to the list right now because apparently I didn't have it on my list, but I read it. Also, did you read Broken Souls Ballad number 3?
I didn't because I haven't read. I never read 1, and I just didn't catch up on it.
It's pretty good. It's kind of like, I would say it's kind of more of a dark version. It's Black Caravan on the Scout imprint, but it's kind of, and which is very weird. Those Black Caravan books they have this like matty cover that's super nice. But this is kind of like Animorphs mixed like darker, and all the people that can do these, Charmeleon.
No, I already did it.
Oh.
I answered.
Good for you. But yeah, it's kind of like Animorphs where they can kind of turn into these animal things, but it's driven by like fear and hate and anger. And all the people too that are doing it happen to be kids that all got adopted all around the same time.
Interesting.
And there's bags on their head and dreams and stuff. And there's a weird now there's a villain in the story that has kind of been released into this world. So it's kind of like weird. It's not really, it's got some like horror elements, but I wouldn't really call it a horror book. I mean, it's a monster book, right? So I guess that technically counts. But I really enjoy this. I think it's pretty good. I actually had to read issue 2 this morning to read issue 3, but I did that.
That's weird. Now I'm going to go to my digital list. Oh, yeah. This is a book I very much enjoyed that I was starting to wane a little bit on. Once in Future number 20 came out today. And I fucking adore this book. Especially the first 1 through 12 is some of my favorite comics ever. I really love it. This last bit just hasn't landed as well for me, and it just didn't seem as like not necessarily fun because it's not a super fun book. It's a gorgeous book all the time, but it just seemed more obscure and like it was like kind of grasping for things. And yeah, the last one was starting to get me back, and then like this one was like, oh yeah, okay, here we go, I'm into this. Like it's feels like it's getting back into form. Like maybe there's a little bit more direction behind it now that they've had some time. Because how long did we wait in between issues? There's a long hiatus, right?
It's like 4 or 5 issues, I think, or 4 or 5 months.
4 or 5 months.
Because it was when Dan Mora went to Detective. So it's Kieran Gillen, Dan Mora, and Golden Burrito Award winner Tamara Bonvillain.
Yeah, gorgeous colors. Yeah, gorgeous art. And I think it's up and running, and I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah, I think it's on the up, but I also as I read this issue, I got sad because I was like, you want to know what? I personally maybe think that I wish that this book would have maybe ended and we could have still had some more Die going on, but who knows? Maybe Die ends perfectly at issue 20, and maybe this keeps going, and this, keeps going great, and it goes on forever, and we're at like issue 754.
Oh man, Jesus. That'd be wild. I do like the idea of like Die ending at a nat 20 though.
Yeah.
So hopefully,
I mean, it's a cool concept,
a natural 20. Cool concept. Yeah. If a writer is wanting to be done with a story, I don't want them to keep writing it. I want it to keep going. I don't want it to end, but I can understand. 20 issues is a lot. It's a lot of books.
Did you just want to like drop? I mean, we're getting. Well, here. I don't know. I'll just talk.
I've got 2 more.
Okay. I'll just bring up the best book of the week.
Ooh.
That Texas Blood, number 10.
Strong statement.
From Chris Condon and Jacob Phillips. I've loved this. The second arc has been phenomenal. I know that there are people that I really love the first arc, and like, well, the first issue and the first arc. I know some people might have like waned a little bit on the first arc, saying that it kind of got boring at places. I think this one has just kept ramping up and getting better with every issue, and I love it. I mean, there's 2 more issues left, and this is like still going fast, still going hard. I love that Texas Blood.
Yeah, it is. No, it was an excellent issue, and it's a lot. It's really cool. It's one of my favorites of this week. One of them in contention for that spot is Philadelphia number 17. Man, I really love this book, and this issue was super cool. I'm super into it. The end is a big thing. It's like, oh dang, you're really like expanding this whole Philadelphia thing quite a bit. It's another jump, and I'm very excited about where it's going, and also slightly concerned because I loved how small it was in the beginning, and now it's getting real big. But hopefully they can keep it reined in and still have that feel to it. It's very gorgeous. as always. Jason Sean Alexander on art is amazing. And then Lewis
It was so good he
NCT,
won a Golden Burrito.
Golden Burrito winner. And then also the other another Golden Burrito winner, Rodney Barnes.
He was not technically, the book itself was.
Yeah, but he got the award.
All of them are technically.
Yeah, I really like it. It's great. I've yet to be disappointed by Philadelphia. It's not always my favorite book in the world. Like for a long time, Philadelphia was number one on my list almost all the time. And it hasn't always been that way, but it's consistently high up, and I'm always excited to read it. And I really love what they're doing right now. It's really cool. Huge recommendation.
I'm still
as
a few
always.
issues behind, but I'll eventually get caught up to that. I know the poster got really upset because one time I said that I was dropping it, and I did drop it.
Ooh.
I mean, for me,
That's
this book, I mean, for me, I enjoy this book way better in trade. Like
No,
it
that's
reads
fair.
better in trade for sure, and like it's one of those books for me
Everything
where it
does.
doesn't land as well. So I don't get hyped on some of these single issues. Where if I just read this in all 6 issues of a trade, I'm like hype. So I don't know. I felt like everyone else was talking about how much they liked it, and I was like, I don't really like this as much. So, but when I read it in trade, I'm like, you know what, that was really good. So that's why I changed to reading that way.
That's cool. Yeah, no, I mean trades just are better. Yeah.
Oh,
so
I read one more book that I will quick do a little talk. Midnight
yeah.
Western Theater. They bring up kind of the backstory to the friend in this, and it was really good. I really enjoyed this book, and it is another Scout book that's very solid. And yeah, it's kind of weird because it ends with to the beginning. So I think they're turning this into a ongoing, where I think it was originally not an ongoing.
Interesting. That's cool. Well, I haven't ranked my books, but I'm willing to do it on the fly as is tradition. So,
you want me to start off and you can go there? My number 10 is Once in Future, number 20. I read 19 books this week to give you an example of where things.
I read like 13. So,
Once in Future, number 20. I think I said 30. Maybe I said 20. Who knows?
I'm gonna say that's one that won't be in the list. That should make it easier.
See you, Batman.
Yep.
Maybe not.
That is correct. Good guess. Oh, dang. One of those is good. Number 10, Frontiersman, number 1.
My number 9 was Broken Souls Ballad. Number 3.
Number 9, Impossible Jones, number 1.
My number 8 was Chew, number 8.
Number 8, Radiant Black, number 8.
My number 7 was Baby Teeth, and by Baby Teeth I mean Bunny Mask, number 4.
Yeah. Number 7, Last Ronin.
My number 6 was Baby Teeth, number 20.
Number 6. Oh boy, this is Vinyl, number 4.
My number 5 is Moon Knight, number 3.
Yeah, you know what? I think you're right. Moon Knight, number 3 for my number 5.
Number 4, Stillwater, number 10.
Number 4. Oh man, Once in Future, number 20.
My number 3, Radiant Black, number 8.
Whoa. My number 3, Nightwing, 84.
My number 2 is Vinyl, number 4.
My number 2 is That Texas Blood, number 10.
And my number 1 is That Texas Blood, number 10.
And my number 1 is Philadelphia, number 17.
And this was This Week in Comics.
It was. It is. It was. Yeah. So
Forever
let
and
us
always.
know what your top 10 after you read these, because we're weird and it's Wednesday.
Yeah, it's Wednesday.
So when you get through them, let us know what your top 10 is. Yell at Nick on Twitter about what your top 10 is.
Yeah.
And tell him why he's wrong.
And here are some books that I need to read.
Yeah, I've got a few of those flashes in that list for me and a
And
couple others.
these guys.
Ordinary
and-
Gods.
And
You got
this.
a lot of yeah, exciting. So definitely go read That Texas Blood in Philadelphia. Those are easy recommendations.
And vinyl.
Outside of that, and we also agreed on Moon Knight.
Is number 5.
That's going to be your 5th favorite book of the week. We can't guarantee it. But yeah, thanks for joining us for This Week in Comics.
Yeah.
Yeah, have a good night.
Good night.
Good. Enjoy your sleepy time. You guys are awesome. Stay safe and enjoy comics. That too, I guess. I mean, I'm not. That's Cole's statement. I'm like, do you? Whatever. But yeah, I'm Todd.
I'm Cole.
And this has been.
This Week in Comics, This Week in Comics, This Week in Comics, This Week in Comics, yeah.